how's everyone doing there tonight? This is Cultflix Fix 24, back with a video. Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's gonna be a review video for a film I just watched. It's a late 80s slasher and a newer release from Arrow Video. It is 1989's Raging Fury. And this is the alternate art, aka How High. So it has two titles there. This is the art for the limited edition slipcover. You could get two editions. You could get it with this slipcover as well, which says Hell High there, which is the title it's well known for. But yeah, this is a late 80s slasher, like I was gonna say, and it came along the lines of like when the slasher genre was kind of dying towards the late 80s, entering those 90s. So you didn't see much different, but this film is different. It's unique. It's got its own style, which I can appreciate. So let's get into the film. It's directed by Douglas Grossman. I could only find that he was a writer on a film Up the Creek from 1984. I have not seen that. And it stars Christopher Stryker. He came out of Eddie and the Cruisers and Welcome Back, Kotter, but this was like his bigger role, and he's one of the main actors in this film. And he unfortunately died of AIDS shortly after this at the age of 27. It's very tragic. They said that he had a bright future and career ahead of himself, but died very young. So this is probably his main film. And then it also stars Maureen Mooney. She came out on R.L. Stryker with Burt Reynolds, and she was basically known for All My Children, the soap opera during the day. And there's a few other actors on here that were involved with soap operas, so there are a lot of actors and actresses from the soap opera aspect there. Yeah, this is interesting, a different approach, like I said, to the slasher genre. It's different, it has its own fresh idea, and I'm going to talk about the film a little bit here. So we got the main character played by Stryker. He's kind of like this rebel. He's a clown. He likes to mess around and get in trouble, and he has his own little group. And there's this teacher that played by Mooney, and she's had a tragic thing happen to her. She had a murder which she was involved in, has a little girl, and it struck trauma to her, and you could tell she's not right. She's a teacher now, very nervous, and these kids are pushing her, especially the character played by Stryker, and he just pushes her to the max, where she eventually just strikes him in the face, and this sends a chain for him to get revenge. So he gets his crew together, followed by the guy who just quit the football team. He's looking for people to hang around with and stuff like that. Yeah, it leads to them eventually kind of harassing her at her home. They plan a prank which goes pretty hectic here. There's a fly around, guys, excuse me. But it leads to a prank that pretty much involves a pretty horrifying situation, and it sets her off as she has a little trauma and mental disease here, and it starts to lead to these kids getting picked off one by one, and it has to do with like mental illness and trauma and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all I could get about the film. I don't want to say too much spoilers, so I'm going to talk about it. We do have an introduction by Joe Bob Briggs in this, and he says how this film's a gem, which I agree. It's rare, and he says that like the film Mean Girls, that I've never seen that film, but he says this was done even with meaner students. He believes in that film because they are pretty cruel students, and they do some pretty evil stuff, pranks and stress towards the teachers of this school. And there's also some cool Halloween costumes during some scenes that these kids wear when they're doing some pranks. I thought that was pretty awesome. It gave me like vibes of like Halloween 3 and Strange Behavior, Dead Kids, like that type, but it had more masks. And this film it's slow, but it builds up. I've heard a lot of complaints saying that it is slow, and I can see that, but it does go slow for a while, but then it leads to the tension. It's going to build up towards the end, and the bloody aftermath that it leads to, which I thought starred Maureen Mooney, the teacher in this film. I found out she was pregnant during this film, so some of the later scenes they had to cover up her belly that was already forming. And yeah, overall this film, like I say, I gave it props for being unique, its own style. It's very tragic with what happened to one of the main stars, Christopher Stryker, as he passed away shortly, as I said. But this delivers in the 80s aspect. It's a clean, fresh slate to the slasher genre. It's not your typical maniac madman just chasing people and killing them. This actually has like some story and its own, like I said, its own unique difference to it. But let's get into my rating here. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, and it's a lot of fun. I recommend it if you love them 80s slashers like me, man, because this is one that belongs in that collection. So it's going to be my review and thoughts, guys, my opinion. This is Cult Flicks Fix 24. Hope everyone's having a great weekend out there. It's coming to an end too fast, but stay safe, be kind to each other. This is hit like, subscribe, comment. This is Cult Flicks Fix 24. Peace.
Growing up for most kids is a lot of fun. They're always doing things they shouldn't. We all remember these about our favorite teacher.
Mr. Dickens, file those test papers.
These test papers, man? Did you say file them?
File.
Yes, ma'am.
If you think these kids are a problem during the day, you should see them after school.
Hell high.